What is going on, everybody? It is currently 5:06 a.m. The update has gone live, and I'm giving you all the deets, baby, on what we got coming up this morning. All right, so let's start off here on Discord, which it's weird, right? They updated Discord before anything else. We are deploying update 1.1.1.0 on Tuesday, October 20th, which is today, followed by the season 1 launch later that day at the following times. So 9 o'clock UTC is 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, my time. All right, so update 1.1.1 goes live on all platforms. Player will be prompted to download and install the update, which includes all technical and gameplay changes. Now at 1500 UTC, which is 9 a.m. Pacific Standard, my time, Season 1 content, including the Battle Pass and new seasonal features, become available for all players. Nothing has been said about the Battle Royale. Not a single thing. Okay, let's see. Between these times, players can continue to play Battlefield 6 as normal after updating, but Season 1 content and progression will unlock at 1500 UTC. So 9 a.m. is when it'll unlock for everybody, or at least Pacific Standard Time. The Season 1 update marks the next step in our ongoing journey to evolve and expand the Battlefield 6 experience. This includes fixes, balance changes, and quality of life improvements focused on polish, performance, and player feedback to deliver an even smoother experience moving forward. All right, I'm hoping so. We're doing good so far, right? You gotta look at them scans, but we're doing good. Our major updates, here we go. Improved core movement and animations, including smoother landings, faster stance transitions, better vaulting behavior, and reducing bouncing issues on landing or spawning. The bouncing is hilarious. I think it's funny. It's happened a handful of times to me, and I always try to make the best out of it. Let's see, reworked weapon dispersion. Okay, so the bloom is worked on to better align accuracy, handling each weapon's intended design, performance over range. These changes address the cases where accuracy behaved inconsistently, such as dispersion not properly setting after sprinting, and bring overall fire behavior closer to the intended balance between precision, control, and weapon power. Got it. So they tweaked it. They made it a little bit more accurate to certain weapons, or after coming out of certain things, which is sprinting or sliding. Cool. Audio overhaul, adding new projectile flybys, destruction and explosion sounds, refined vehicle and weapon mixes, and improved haptic feedback across multiple interactions. Okay, all right. UI and HUD updates for clarity and consistency, including overtime indicators and around fixes, and new unlock markers for weapons and gadgets. Cool, because sometimes I didn't know what the hell I unlocked. I was just like, hey, I was just moving through, you know what I'm saying? I was like, what is it? I hope it's this, you know? But it's okay. Now we have something that will point that out. Map fixes across multiple locations, resolving spawn animations, out-of-bound issues, misaligned assets, and general stability across conquest, breakthrough, and rush modes. That's good news too. Now, this looks like a whole lot. I'm just gonna go through, skim through here, but we do have a lot of information. I don't know how much information we can get through here. But you know what? Actually, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. We could actually get through this here real quick for you. Let's see. So fix an issue where combat dive could break when diving uphill. I'm glad that's fixed. Fix an issue where players were detached from zip lines and entering at high speeds. I've seen that. Improve steady aim and sight centering for a more consistent precision. Fix an issue where movement could interrupt steady aim. Adjust misaligned character hitboxes for upper body and head. I didn't even know that was an issue. To better match the visual models. Fix an issue where the jump animation could play twice when aiming down sights. Landing animations now have the proper path properly centered instead of shifting to the side when landing. Fix an issue where jump inaccuracy could linger too long after landing. That is horrible. That is bad. Glad it's fixed. Fix a visual case causing weapons to appear rotated incorrectly after spawning. That's happened to me. I've spawned in with the weapon facing me. I've spawned in with the weapon facing me before. So yeah, let's see. Fix a visual issue causing weapons to appear. Okay, yeah. Fix an issue where throwing grenades from prone could make players appear standing in third-person view. That's wild. Fix an animation delay when opening doors and sliding. Okay, fix an issue where players could get stuck vaulting over certain objects. Visual issues where dead players appeared alive when swimming. Fix an issue where quick meleeing with a gadget would swap back to primary weapon instead of the gadget. Fix an issue where getting killed by mine when highlighted in the kill cam. Fix a camera jitter could occur when entering ladders and looking down. Fix an issue where camera and weapon sway behaved incorrectly after entering or exiting vehicles. I can go on and on, but I'm not. So vehicles, fixed missing haptic feedback when switching between tank weapons. That's cool. I don't play controller though. Fix a visual issue where the player's hand clipped with the M182 handle when sitting in an external seat. Gadgets, fixed a rare issue with the MAS 148 glaive, could block first-person view during combat dive. Fix an MAS 148 glaive visual issue during combat dives in first person. Fix an issue where defibrillators appear floating during vault animations. Fix an issue where the supply pouch would sometimes not resupply correctly. That happened to me a lot. That would happen to me all the time. Deployed gadgets are not destroyed or removed from debris piles. AT grenades now create a small sized crater instead of a medium one, and buildings now take more hits to be destroyed by a sledgehammer. Which a leak came out when the Battle Royale was in labs that the sledgehammer only took like 3 hits or something to take down like half a building. So I'm glad that it's more now. Weapon dispersion has been rebalanced to better match each weapon's damage profile across all ranges. Lower damage weapons will now see a slightly higher increase in dispersion when firing, while higher damage weapons will experience slightly less. Using sniper rifles with any class other than recon will no longer increase weapon spread. Instead, weapon sway will now begin during the zoom transition, maintaining balance and distinguish recon's precision advantage. Fix the misalignment issue with top-mounted red dot sights. Fix an issue where mounting a bipod while zoomed only changed the FOV instead of using the correct optic. Fix an issue where the long suppressor used the wrong attachment point cost for some weapons. Improved reticle settling for automatic weapons to make burst firing more efficient, which is great. Fix an issue where using a bipod too close to complex geometry could throw the player off position while prone. Balanced sledgehammer damage against world objects for better consistency. That goes hand in hand with the buildings now take more hits to be destroyed by sledgehammer. So that's also good. Fix an issue preventing players from leaving the firing range. Some people will just end up being stuck in there, and who knows, they would have to turn off their game. Let's see, maps and modes. Improve fog and smoke effect after destruction to prevent them from lingering too long and impact visibility. Improved exposure transition between indoor and outdoor areas for better visibility. This is great. Because sometimes, man, you would come out of a building and it was just so much sunlight, there was nothing you could see. Or vice versa, right? You come out of a bright building to darkness and it would just be really dark. Fix an issue where the zipline carabiner could appear offset and fly next to the wire instead of along it. Squad names are now randomized at the start of squad deathmatch matches. Added visible bomb mesh to armed MCOMs and rush. Updated overtime UI visualization across all modes. Fix animation and positioning issues during insertion sequences on all maps. Fix an issue where the game mode UI could display incorrect scores or fail to update during a round. This would happen to my brother a lot. He would see, for example, Conquest, he would see both enemy tickets. Ours would have tickets, the enemies would be 0 for the whole match from the start. So I'm glad that's getting fixed too. Fix an issue, fix an end of round progression issue in King of Hill mode. And fix an issue where players could encounter a bouncing animation while spawning at HQs after capturing new territories and escalation across multiple maps. Good. So then we have the specific maps fixes right here. Merak Valley, misaligned zip lines are fixed. Deploy camera and rush displayed attackers on the wrong side of the map. That was fixed. And fix an issue prevented players from arming MCOM A in rush due to a misplaced asset. That's cool that they cut that little tiny one. Siege of Cairo, only one little fix. Fixed overlapping territory lines and boundaries during the briefing screen and escalation. Liberation Peak, fix an issue in escalation where a portion of the map on NATO's side was disconnected during the first period of the match. Fix an issue in Rush where part of the attacker's HQ area was incorrectly marked as out of bounds. New Sobek City, fix an issue preventing players from capturing part of Flag C in escalation. Fix an issue where players could ignite when spawning near a burning lorry in Team Deathmatch. And adjust an infantry vehicle spawn that placed too close to buildings in PAX Armada HQ area. And finally, the Manhattan Bridge. Fix an issue in Breakthrough where players could become stuck on the end of round screen if the party leader left during the EOR sequence. That has happened to me. I have become stuck as my team has continued to the next game and I have to back out. They have to back out. It messes up the whole vibe. Settings, added flick look bindings to helicopter, jet, and transport control schemes. That's awesome. Because if you're getting shot from behind and you want to take a quick look, boom, the flick. Awesome. Fix the visual issue where some aspect ratio settings cause transparent borders or inconsistent display behavior. Single player, fix an issue in mission 1 where players were unable to lean out during the last stand sequence. That happened to me too. I was stuck in the helicopter trying to look out, but I couldn't. Thankfully, the story continues if done and you don't die. It just keeps going. If the cinematic began while the knife was equipped, fix a black screen issue in a night raid mission. Cool. Portal, here we go. Fix an issue where host experience screen did not display the portal experience image. Fix a crash that could occur if a party leader started a portal server while content packs 01 and 04 were disabled. Improve loading times for server browser experience info tab to ensure joining functions properly, and corrected a spelling error in the message shown when attempting to join an unavailable server. All right, cool. Small little details there. Now we have a lot of audio fixes here. Fix an issue where footstep sounds were missing when moving with the knife equipped. That's broken. That's so crazy. Fix the voice line issue where directional callouts, e.g. enemy north, played the wrong direction. Tuned haptic feedback across multiple actions, including window barging, defibrillator use, swimming, rocket pods, mounted MGs, and sea vehicle collisions. Polished large projectile audio with new missile, rocket pod, and cannon shell flyby effects. Improved distance handling and overall mix for more realistic impact sounds. Updated audio configs for light rockets, LMGs, refined explosions, sound crossfades, and adjusted distant sound behavior. Improved vehicle and weapon firing audio balance, reducing noise artifacts, unwanted phasing, and oversaturation. Added radio chatter through controller speakers. That's cool if you have controllers. Now you'll hear that. A little bit more of immersion. Fixed an issue where firing range dummies and vehicle hit registrations sometimes played incorrectly or processed hurt sounds. Disabled radio processing for stationary vehicle pings. Fixed compass orientation for ping indicators. Fixed missing or incorrect ambient and destruction sounds across several maps, including Siege of Cairo, as well as missing explosion sound for silos and tanker trailers. Added missing ambient audio setups for environmental props like construction barriers and buses. Added new sound effects for bulletin and takeover sections of the main menu, including improved reveal animations. Fix an issue where delayed challenge tab displays triggered early audio playback. Fix an issue where defibrillator loop sounds could get stuck when vaulting. Fixed missing or out of sync reload sounds. Corrected the M39 EMR using suppressed audio when unsuppressed. Restored missing external sound effects for RWS Gunner, countermeasure mines. Fixed issues where soundtrack cuts off abruptly or skip mid-song. And also reload audio polish for several weapons. There's a lot of fixes and a lot of information. So much, but this is good. This is what we want. We want them to go this way. We want them to show us what they're fixing. This is just communication with the community, and that's what's going to help the game in the long run. There's nothing else that can help it except for that. This is what helps the game. That's it. Just plain and simple. If you listen to the community and you give what the community wants, you win. I don't know. So simple, but other companies have problems with it. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy Battle Royale today. I'll be on there as well. Most likely making videos, if not streaming, but we'll see. Hopefully you guys had a good one. Hope you guys had enough information, and we'll catch you guys later.